welcome back, guys, to For the Republic, your favorite podcast here on YouTube and everywhere you can get your podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Remember to share, tell your friends. We have a great show for you guys today. We're going to talk about several topics. Elon Musk, 2024. We're going to talk about the race conversation in this country following the shooting of Ralph Yarl in Kansas City, and other topics among those. All right, so I don't want to, before we start, don't want to forget to tell you guys to check out our Patreon. We have some really great episodes on there, exclusive content. If you subscribe, you can even suggest us topics you want us to talk about every week. We put out bonus episodes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And hope you guys enjoy this episode. So, Karandeep, what's up?
How's it going, man?
All right, so let's start with Elon Musk. We talked about him on the Patreon, but I want to talk about a little bit here because I don't know if you saw this week that the people on Twitter don't have blue checks if they didn't pay.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people that were like, everybody's just complaining about it because they feel that they're supposed to have a blue check. It's like the funniest thing ever because it's like it's all mostly celebrities
hmm
and some companies and institutions, but I feel like the companies are paying for it. They don't really care, but the celebrities are like, oh my god, now there are people like who aren't me going to be pretend to be me because I don't have my blue check. It's like, well, I want my blue check because I'm important. That's why. They don't want it because it's like it matters. It doesn't matter, but they want it because it makes them feel like they're important or like unique or like
Right.
I'm the only one. Like I'm the only Alyssa Milano. I'm the only Kim Kardashian. Like, and then there's the other part. It's like the people who said they wouldn't pay who are now paying, like LeBron James.
Yeah. Yeah. I just saw. Wait, isn't it like $8 right now?
I think yeah, I might pay for it. It's $8. I mean, I
Yeah,
might
it's
do
just
it.
$8.
It's $8. Like they have
I
millions of
think
dollars.
I think George Soros had a problem with that too. Like he just didn't want to pay $8 for it.
It's so ridiculous. It's like, well, they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay Elon $8. But if the people who used to have to run Twitter were charged $8, they would pay it.
Right.
That's what they would do. Like they just don't. They don't want to pay him. That's the whole point. So I want to talk about more about Elon and kind of about the Tucker interview. Um, it was interesting to me to hear that he said that he pretty much fired like 80% of Twitter,
Yep.
of the staff at Twitter. It's like it's only 20%, and he's really saying that. But he's gonna have a tough time because I don't think he's gonna make any money. I think he kind of knows that already, and he kind of feels like kind of bad that he won't make any money on it. So
Yeah. He even ended up overpaying.
yeah, he overpaid. He said
Yeah.
he overpaid. Yeah,
What
remember
was
that's why he tried to get out of it.
what was Twitter's net worth before Elon? Like
I
how
think the
much?
evaluation. Well, he got evaluated. I think at uh $54 a share,
Uh huh.
and so he probably paid like what
He paid
uh
like over 45 billion.
45 billion, right? Now, what was the share price valued at? Was it at 45 or 54? Because then the valuations were saying, this is what I hate. The valuations after he buys it say that he overpaid. But okay, why didn't you say that when he was going to buy it?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have said something if what you do is valuations.
$54.20 a share.
He bought it at that price.
Yeah, seems like it. What?
That's what it was valued at when he bought it.
Well, this
And I
art.
remember the
Yeah.
share price went like dramatically down afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was any manipulation there. People started selling and the price went down just to fuck him over, or try to prevent him to doing it. But then Twitter, I guess they wanted him to buy it because remember they sued him and they took him to court, and he ended up buying before it got to a case, and so it was settled. But like
Right.
they were gonna force him to buy it,
Yeah. Yeah. It's $54.20 a share.
right? And now so like in the Patreon episode, which I suggest you watch or listen to, I'm pretty critical of his like political advocacy because I think that it's kind of hypocritical for him in a lot of fronts. He voted for Biden, but now he wants to choose the president because he thinks that he'll get it right this time. It's like, dude, you voted for Hillary and Biden.
Wait, what does he mean by you'll get it right this time?
Well, he's secretly supporting. Well, he's publicly said it, but he's supporting like Ron DeSantis. So now he
yeah,
wants
he was
to get
open
it
about that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he wants to get it right pretty much. It's like I should trust Elon Musk or Joe Rogan on that. It's like, but Elon's probably gonna switch after that. He'll probably just endorse RFK Jr. We'll talk about him later in the next when we get to 2024. Um, but it's like that I criticize because I can't, like, we have a right to, and he would agree. It's like, criticize me on that. That's fine. Um, but other than that, I do think he is a genius. Like, he's highly intelligent. And I think I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but like, he has I think he has, I think it's reportedly he has, or people assume that he has Asperger's, which is a mental illness
Yeah.
or deficiency. And so he lacks that, like, social, like, awareness. Like, when he's in conversation, he kind of doesn't, like, process emotions that are being thrown out in a conversation as well as you and I would.
Hmm.
Have you noticed that? So when he gets
Yeah, I've
interviewed and
noticed
people
that.
are,
Yeah.
like, laughing or making these snarky or sarcastic remarks, he kind of doesn't, like, he doesn't really get it.
No.
I saw it in the Tucker a lot. Like, Tucker was joking and laughing, and like Elon will laugh if he tells a joke, or if he finds it funny, he'll laugh. But
Yeah.
if Tucker finds it funny, he's not gonna laugh. He's gonna be like, yeah, and, like, he doesn't really process it. But that's fine. You know what's fun? Because his answers are more calculated and they're more direct to the point of what he wants to say.
Hmm.
Remember, like, because if you or I are having a conversation and we're laughing, we're gonna riff a little bit. We're not gonna be
Right.
focused on the
Right.
point. He's not, and it's kind of that deficiency, but it's a strength. It's not something terrible.
Right.
So I think that's a good quality to have. And you know, I'm not the biggest fan of EVs. I'm not, because I think, but I do admire him because he's one of the few billionaires that are really out there. That he's a 19th century billionaire. And what do I mean by that? He's an industrial uh, entrepreneur. He's an industrial businessman. He's
Okay.
producing something material that that's tangible, that you can touch, that you can feel, that you can attribute value to. Like, he's making cars.
Hmm.
And car making isn't really like a luxurious enterprise anymore. Like, you don't see a lot of, like, kids going out there saying, I want to be a car maker, or I want to work at, Tesla and make cars. That's not Kids nowadays. They want to work in tech. They want to code. They want to go to finance and be a financial planner, financial investment officer. They want to be an investment banker, or they want to be in insurance. Like, those are the lucrative ones. Like, those are the ones out there. You go to colleges, you see finance. Like, when I
Right.
was in college, and all the kids that I graduated with, they all wanted to go to Wall Street or the financial sector and work in finance. They
Hmm.
want to they want to be credit officers. They want to do underwriting. They want to work in commercial banking, investment banking. They want to do bonds. They want to do all of that. Options, hedge funds,
Bombs.
capital, bonds,
Pawns. I think you said
bonds,
bombs.
bombs. Yeah,
Um.
potentially. But, like, that's the popular one, healthcare, biotech. But he's doing something that's, like, kind of outdated, even though it's like a new spin to it. Like, it's future, like, future wise, that's what he's doing. So I admire that about him, that aspect. I'm not a big fan of the Tesla cars. They're also badly built. People know that. People who
Right.
work, like, in body shop, they'll tell you, like, Teslas are some of the worst built cars, just because
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
price.
It's pretty ugly, honestly.
Yeah, it's not even the ugly. It's like the way they're built, put together, the quarter panels, the fenders, the bumpers, like, a lot of those things are, like, badly put together on the assembly line.
Hmm.
And Elon actually warns about that. Like, he tells you, like, I've seen tweets of him saying that, like, look, like, in a production rush, don't buy the car because it might not be bad. The dude who's selling it to you is telling you not to buy it now.
Right.
That's the funny thing about it. Yeah, but I also don't trust electric cars on a long term basis. Like, this idea of electric trucks, or, like, electric cars that can take you from cross country. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm planning to go to
Especially. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if it's built by batteries, and then like, if you're traveling far, that shit might end up heating up, and you never know what's gonna happen to that.
It's not that. It's also like, can you trust that? Like, let's say, like, I'm driving to Florida from,
Hmm.
let's say, the New York area to Florida, and let's assume that I have a Tesla. They tell you that it's about, like, what, 270 miles
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
full charge to empty charge. I don't trust that. I don't believe
It'll
it.
yeah, what like before you buy it, it'll tell you like what's the max mileage it can go.
Yeah, but I don't believe it because gas car makers like Honda, Ford, they all tell you the same thing. Like, oh, you'll get 33 miles per gallon. You don't. Sometimes you don't end up. You'll get it for like a year, but then you end up not getting it. They're like, you end up getting 28 or 27, which isn't bad, but still, like, it's not what was advertised. But
Yeah.
also not that. It's like, dude, where's the infrastructure for it? If I go to North Carolina, if I drive and let's say I need to get a charge by the time I'm in Maryland or by the time I'm in North Carolina, where are there any charging ports? Are there any charging stations?
Hmm.
Also, how long does it take? How long does it take for me to charge the car? Because getting gas is like a 5 minute thing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like getting gas in New Jersey, in New York, in California, like that. Well, California is different, but like that's a 10. That's like 5 minute process.
At my workplace, like inside the garage buildings, they
Yeah.
set up a juice box for electric
Mm,
vehicles where you can
yeah.
charge your vehicle.
Right.
But usually when I go over there and I'm at that area, it takes them at least a few hours for them to charge their vehicle like, fully.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a lot of people say it's cheap, but is it cheap though? Like I don't
Well,
know how that
what's
works.
powering that charging station?
It's a small
A power grid that's on coal.
right.
Like, what are you? What's planet? What are you saving? Because and this is a whole conversation about EVs that I have. It's like, dude, to to make EVs, you put more people in danger. You have to colonize. You have to literally like exploit more people in Africa or in Asia to get these fine metals like cobalt, nickel, all these other ones to make the
Yeah.
computer systems for these cars.
Let's save the world, guys. Woo!
Yeah, and it's just like, but you're not. It's like you're making it worse because first of all, the car's also like madly expensive. So like
Oh yeah.
we're not buying it anytime soon. I don't even want one, but I'm not buying one anytime soon. And then the other point is like exactly, you just said it. Like it takes hours to get a full charge, but I can just fill up my tank of gas in 10 minutes at most. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Like I don't
remember
have a pickup truck.
I remember a couple years ago you and you kind of woke me up with the whole EV stuff, but then I also realized how politicians have their ideas on what they want to do with EV vehicles. Like,
Exactly.
like they want it to be all EV, but it's like, why is it coming from like a bunch of politicians? It's like that is not safe. Like, it's like I don't want to hear that. So that
Yeah,
that
it's not
that that's
let
that's
people
that's what
decide.
really like put my view on EV like separately because like a bunch of politicians were saying we all should get EV vehicles. It'll save the world. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 thank you.
Remember the solar panel frenzy? Like everybody's getting
Yeah.
solar panels on their roofs because the state's paying. By the way, the state's paying for it. It's the same thing with like EVs. You get a
Oh,
credit.
imagine that. Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, the state you get this deal where it's a raw deal too. It's not even a. I've seen how they do it. It's a
But it's
wacky
like
thing.
it's like a mortgage, right? Is that
Pretty, you get it for free, but you end up. It's never even. They'll tell you like, oh, it's yours. The power that you make, that surplus, the surplus power is yours, and you get a credit back. But a lot of that's not even true at the end of the day. A lot of it's not true.
okay?
It's another like little scam that they make, and the state pays for it. The state pays. I think. Well, I think New Jersey ended the program, but like at the time, the state would pay 30 grand. Like you would get a subsidy credit of 30 grand for your house to get panels. And if your house needed a new roof, they would do it for you.
Hmm.
But you pay that you like your electricity bill and the cost of the solar panels is in a monthly bill. And so those costs would be put into that monthly bill. So like say like okay, even if your electricity bill is $500 and the power goes down to and the solar panels brings that to 400, those
Right.
panels aren't yours. If you read the line, the fine print, those panels aren't yours actually. They're yours after you finish paying for them. And how long is the deal? 10 to 15 years. Like
10 to
it's not
15
actually
years.
free. Yeah, it's in the thing. Like people they lie to you when the sales reps go to you, they lie to you, of course. They just want you to get the deal. Like they just go they walk around it. So that's kind of the effed up part about it. Yeah, but no, but Elon Musk, I admire him really just because of that little fact, because of what he does. And look, I really like what he did with Twitter. He put his money where his mouth was, and he said he saw something that wasn't right. And he's not like he is and he isn't. He's not Soros, and
Mm,
he's not Zuckerberg, but he's a guy who's on the center right. He's on the center right. I won't call him right wing. He's on center right.
Yeah.
Um, who's saying that, you know what, I'm not going to sit here and take it from these left leaning billionaires like Carlos Slim, Jeff Bezos, um, all the other ones that are putting money against all these dark water candidates, all these dark water groups that are funding these initiatives like BLM, Sierra Club, J Street, all these other places that are like super left wing and progressive that are ruining this country with their policies.
Hmm.
Like that, he's like, I'm gonna speak out against that and work against that. Like that, I admire that, and
Yeah.
I give that props. But then like the political stuff, like his no, it's like, dude, you voted for Joe Biden and you're owned by China. I, Come on now,
Yeah.
don't tell me that
Pretty
Trump isn't the
much.
right guy or that he's not good. It's like, no, go read up a little bit more and we'll talk about it, or go think about it more. No, like I just don't.
Yeah. His
And
his 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 stuff with China's pretty crazy.
yeah, and
Not a
especially a
huge
guy
fan.
who's like, even in this country, like where he's like, most of his businesses, like Trump's. So Trump's absolutely right when he says this because we all know it. Um, his business is pretty much is funded and alive because of government subsidy.
Hmm.
That's how it works. Like that's just how it works. And um, yeah, that's it. But other than that, I do admire him. He's an important figure in our time. But I'm not obsessed like some people are. Like ALX on Twitter, who's obsessed with everything he
Oh
does.
yeah.
Every tweet that he has, he puts it up like, "Oh, look what Elon said. Look what Elon said. Checkmate, checkmate." It's like, all right, get over it. He's a dude, man. Like,
You'd be surprised, man. A lot of young guys really love Elon.
dude, I need to find me a woman who loves me or defends me and does as much as they do to Elon, man.
I love
That's
you.
right. Now, okay, that's weird. But saying that and moving on to another topic we love is 2024. 2024. And
2024.
we're gonna talk about it because I don't know if you've probably seen this. The fight between Trump and DeSantis has been amping up,
Hmm.
especially now with all the Disney stuff that's going on in Florida. Kind of just like you remember, like in the beginning of the year or beginning of 2022, we heard about Ron taking on Disney, and
Right.
everybody, Ron, he's gonna be the next president.
Right.
That's why, because he takes on the wokers, and then because he took away. There's a piece of land that Disney owns that they got that pretty much the state of Florida pretty much let them control that parcel of land any way they want
Hmm.
because of their Disney. They bring a lot of revenue. They bring a lot of tourism to Florida. That's a big economy for Orlando because not just that. They have SeaWorld, the what is that? The Harry Potter, Hogwarts.
They didn't have to pay taxes either, right?
Well, that's kind of they get like tax breaks, they get special
Tax
like they get
breaks.
subsidies, they get a good deal
Right.
because they're just and so Ron because they were hosting a drag queen event, I think it was it like a drag queen event or was it like a gay event? It was like a pride
Most likely a drag
drag like drag
event.
story hour, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what he said, "Oh, I'm going to take that away." And so he started and so there's a board that oversees it. And so at first he appointed people on the board that were pro DeSantis or like on the state side. And it turns out that the board is now controlled by Disney, and that Disney pretty much makes the rules. And the state government didn't even realize that. They're now just realizing it that Disney now pretty much. And Disney actually, by the way, I think this weekend or is it next weekend? They're actually holding like another drag story hour, or is it like a Pride event, something like that, or is it like Drag Pride?
I mean, it's a bit confusing because like you also got Florida City just like canceling Pride Parade. Um, but I know the bill's about anti. It's about like drag shows being held where like little kids are being attended, and that he doesn't like that. Like kids shouldn't be around it.
Right.
But
Yeah, that's
not. But
a different thing because
they're
that's not
making the
him. That's a
idea.
town. A mayor, a town decided that one.
Yeah, but like
Like that's not him.
everything's like so confusing. It's like I don't know what's going on right now.
Now, no, because this Disney thing is separate. There's like a fight over whoever controls like that. Their special. Their lucrative package, their deal, and Disney's pretty much beating him on it, and it's embarrassing. And so like a lot of Republicans are out here just
Yeah.
saying, hey, you look stupid now. Like all you did was you only did that apparently to pander to the to the MAGA crowd, not just the MAGA crowd, but like the Republican crowd, the conservative crowd, because I think most of the conservatives they're like in favor of that. Like they like seeing it, but I like seeing it. But then I realized through social media, people like Wake Up with Linda, um, she kind of just exposed like, nah, man, like this isn't real. Like he's pandering, he's just fronting, and that's what we don't need. I don't want someone who fronts just to get like votes, or to get like interest, or to get likes,
Mm-hmm.
or to get high in the polls. And Trump has like been hammering on this, and not just Trump, even like um, the fattest man in politics, Chris Christie. He pretty much slammed them for it, saying, I have no. I've told you guys about Chris Christie. I have no use for him. But the other guys like him, like Chris Sununu, Nikki Haley, pretty much attacked him, pretty much breaking her promise that she wouldn't attack another Republican. But she criticized him. She
Right.
criticized Trump too, and I think Tim Scott has said some things. A lot of the candidates have criticized them, even the fringe one, like Asa Hutchinson, who has like no chance. But a lot of them are criticized him pretty much for saying like you're just pandering.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're doing this for likes. You're using state power to punish people because you want to make yourself politically more popular, and that's literally what he's doing. Um, and he's getting wrecked over it because people are really seeing like, wait a second, like you're not as in control of this as you thought you were. And then the other part of this is Trump is getting the majority of all the Florida congressmen, congressional delegation to endorse him. He
Right.
has, I don't know if you saw, but there's a congressman in Florida, Stubbins, and
I
he
think
had
I
a
heard
meeting
of him.
with
Yeah.
DeSantis. He literally had a meeting with DeSantis, and then right after that meeting, a couple minutes after that meeting, literally tweets a video saying that he's endorsing Trump.
Ah,
You know how that's that's so. I
that's
love that honestly.
interesting.
I love that. He literally has a meeting with DeSantis. Right after the meeting, he's like, "Oh yeah, I just had a meeting with the governor, but I'm endorsing Trump, by the way." That's so like top G, man. That's so
But
top.
he openly said it right in his face.
Yeah, he said no. He said it like on Twitter right after. Like he told the world. Like
Okay.
he's telling people. Like I had a great meeting with him,
I thought
but I'm
he
endorsing
I
I'm
thought he
endorsing
pulled
Trump.
that kind of move where he had the meeting, said it to his face, and
Dude,
then
look at this
tweeted
move.
about it later on.
Look at this. Look at this move. Ron DeSantis went to he flew to Washington. He flew to Washington, met with all these congressmen and all these congresswomen, and then he meets with this guy who's from Florida, who you would assume would back DeSantis because he's the governor of your state. And he has a meeting. He's like, okay, yeah, that's a good meeting, and then goes on Twitter and goes on social media and releases a video saying, "Oh yeah, I just had a meeting with Ron DeSantis, but I'm endorsing Trump." That's like such a top G movement. But it's like, but they have like a history because apparently, I think Steuben had some problems, and Ron DeSantis never held out. Also, like, apparently he had a problem where he got into like he had an accident while he was like mowing his lawn or
Hmm.
like cutting down like a tree or something,
Right.
and he was like, in the ICU.
Right.
And Trump like called him in the ICU and sent him like messages saying like, "How are you? How you doing? Can you post it if there's anything you need?" Blah blah blah. And
Hmm.
Ron DeSantis never like reached out to this day. And then like there's some other stuff too, like just some other stuff that they've had. And then there's Byron Donalds, the congressman who's out of Fort Myers. Um, and then there's Anna Paulina Luna. You know her?
Yeah.
She just endorsed Trump too, and now the Ron boys are all like out there calling her like a slut. They like literally tweeted saying like, "Go back to the strip club where you belong. You don't know what you're doing." Like you
Yeah.
already know, like just because she endorsed Trump over DeSantis, it's like, dude, they're as nasty as the libs at this point
Right.
because they're not getting their way. Like it's because they're not getting their way. That's what's happening.
What do you think about Byron so far?
Byron, I think he's a bright future, man. I think he has a bright future in this
I feel
party.
like if he keeps the same energy, he can be that guy
Oh
for
yeah, I
sure.
wouldn't be surprised if Trump considers him for like a cabinet position.
Yeah.
Secretary
I
of Commerce or
I'm just afraid that he's doing all that, and then later on when he's on top of that peak, it's just all for show.
yeah. No, you always got to worry because but
Yeah.
'cause you always got to worry. But Byron isn't like a politician. Before he became a politician, he was a businessman. He was a small business owner.
Oh, interesting.
What I mean? And he was active in his community, so he wasn't like he's not like Ron DeSantis or like all these other guys who go out there who are career politicians.
What was his business about?
I don't know. It was like a small business.
Right, right.
I didn't look into that, but I just know he came from like the business side, and that's
Hmm.
typically the Republican side, anyways.
Right.
Like Glenn Youngkin. Glenn Youngkin owned like was I think the CEO of a company that did really well.
Yeah.
Uh, like I think like a Fortune 500 company or something, or like like a big company, and then he became the governor of Virginia.
Hmm.
And, he took a lot of advantage, and that's kind of what we need. Who I really like, who has a future, is the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, who,
Yeah.
by the way, has better poll numbers than DeSantis in his own state. So, like, I'm not talking about nationwide because he hasn't. There's no. It's so weird. Like, Ron gets all this love, but Brian Kemp is far more popular in his own state. Like in Georgia, Brian Kemp is like compare the two. Like Ron in Florida and Brian in Georgia. Brian is far more popular than Ron is.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, and Georgia is like, look, it's a purple state. There's two Democratic senators.
Yeah.
It's not a red state anymore. It's a purple state. So like that's what we got to look out for, like. But yeah, that's what I feel. And I just want to play these clips shortly before we move on about
Before we do that, I really hope that the Ron followers wake up real soon because they're really shitting on Trump way more than they're doing it with Ron. Really are.
yeah, yeah. It's like
And
I want to show this
I
video
really
about
hope that
Trump
they
because he
wake
was at
up.
this pizzeria. I don't know if you saw it. Um, he arrived at a pizzeria right here, and now this was pretty cool here. Just give me your thoughts. This was in Fort Myers. This is he's with Byron Donalds, and Byron brought his son. You see them walking into the pizzeria.
Is your sound working? My audio's not working.
You don't have any sound? Oh, I need to fix this.
Nope. Yeah, make sure. There you go.
Alright, but look at that hair. Okay, yeah, look at all
There's a lot of people. Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He has a lot of people. Holy crap.
Yeah. Here in the when he's in the when he's in, that's Byron Donald.
I want to go there.
Yeah, I kind of want to get some pizza now.
Yeah.
Yo, I saw that video. It made me want to get pizza. Trump's gotta learn how to. Not. You gotta. He has to fix his game on the pizza eating.
At least it's not going on
Right
fucking
here.
Papa John's or Domino's or Pizza Hut.
Oh yeah. He's not there for the. He's just like, look at this. He's there like being part of the community. You know what I mean? Like these faces
Right.
here are wild, but
Barry looks disgusted.
I don't know what he's looking at. Like, what is he like?
like, like.
He's like, this guy right here. Like, I like the fact that he brought his son along, to see the president, and look at all these people though. Like, look in the back, man. Like, look at this, and then you move on to the next one. Now this he like this. I don't. This guy's just like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, eat that shit, boy.
He's like, yeah, she's like, he's just like, and
Oh
then this
my
guy's
God.
just like,
Yo, look at the back of that head. Look at that. I can easily swipe my credit
oh
card
my
there.
god, oh no. I mean, he got to learn on eating pizza, but this looks good, man. That pizza looks good. I'm gonna get pizza after this.
Local pizzas are the best. If you
Oh yeah, no,
if you say that Papa John's, Domino's, or fucking like
no.
they're
And
way
he's
better
holding
than
it the
local,
right
fuck
way,
that.
and he's holding it the right way.
Right.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, he's like,
Wait, so what's the right way of eating pizza?
You fold it,
You fold it.
and you bring it, and like that.
I'm not gonna lie, most of the time I fold it, but like there are times where I just like don't fold it. Like just not fold it, just eat it.
How dare you?
What? I said most of the time, okay? Jeez. Don't get so sensitive about that.
All right, and then we got this one. I like this moment here where he brings his son along, and his son's like super popular. I don't know, I saw the full video, and
Hmm.
I like this moment where Trump hands him the pizza. He passes the son. He passes it around to other people. He and his dad are like eating. I like that moment. It's for cameras, but it's what I like about it is that even though there's cameras everywhere, it's all authentic. You know what I mean? Like he cares. Like he's the only guy who does this. Like Ron goes to a place. He's not buying everybody pizzas. He's just going to there. He's gonna eat a pizza, signs a paper, and then walk out. You know what I
Watch
mean?
watch the people in the comments be like, "Oh my god, what are you guys like happy about? You just give me a
Dude,
pizza." It's like what's
but
so
look at all these people here. Look at all these
like look at they're
employees.
all
Like
happy.
yeah, and by the way, these might be people who didn't vote for him. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
look, if Barack Obama came to my school or came to my workplace or came to the local pizzeria when I was eating at, I'd get up and I'd take videos, like I wouldn't be and I don't like Barack Obama as president, but it's a moment. But this guy, like, I love hearing stories about him, like when he walked into UFC, it's like
Nah.
he like
Oh
he like the crowd
yes.
just goes
That
wild,
was
man, like nothing you've ever
badass. I
seen.
I watched the event. That shit was badass. Like I'm a huge UFC guy, and when I saw that entrance, yo,
There's another one. Look at this brother right here.
Trump, look at me, look at me. Oh god, he's eating pizza.
Yeah, someone got to train our boy how to eat pizza, man.
What?
Secret Service has like a totally tough job, man. He has to watch. He has to watch everybody.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah,
This
he's
guy.
looking at everyone.
Yeah, like they got to watch out for him. They got to watch out. He's gonna attack him, and
Wait, so he took a bite of that pizza. Was he gonna take a bite on the other one too?
no,
Did you saw that?
he handed it to people afterwards.
It looked like that he was
But
taking a bite of.
compare it to this.
What the fuck is
Look at that. What is this? What is this? He's like, oh.
that? Yo, what kind of toppings are on that? Hold up. Pepperoni, olives.
What is he doing?
I just jalapeno.
He's like, oh, like what?
What kind of
This
pizza
guy
is
just
that? And
like
then they
look
look
at the
like
guy. He's just like, what? His
Papa
face.
John's.
This guy's like, what? It looks like Papa John's, Domino's.
No, it can't be Domino's.
Not Domino's. Dude, I haven't had a pizza from any of those places in a long, long time. I support small business. Support small business. That's our message.
Yeah, no, this looks straight up like fucking
No, it's
Papa
garbage. That's
John's.
garbage. That's like garbage, and it's like,
Look at that guy. Look at that guy just looking at him.
yeah, he's just like, oh, you like the pizza, huh?
Joe Biden's looking at him. I eat my pizza how I eat my kids.
Ew.
I'm
No,
debating whether I want to take that out or not.
I like this moment though. This is nice. And
Oh my god.
but look at the energy here, man. Look at the energy here.
Yeah, everyone's happy,
I'm gonna
man.
look for we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna stop here with the we're gonna stop. We're gonna take a quick break. But I'm gonna find photos. There's just like these hilarious photos of like people looking at Ron DeSantis while he's eating pizza or like doing stuff, and like
Wait,
people are
wait,
looking at him
really?
like,
I'm gonna see that actually.
yeah, they're like looking at they're looking at him like this, like
To give it
like
that stink face.
yeah, like literally, like they're like, what is he doing? Like, why is he eating like that? Yeah, dude, and then the nicknames like pudding finger, like pudding Ron,
Uh,
Ron the Sanctimonious. Like those nicknames stick, man. Like I
Ron
don't know what
Ron
he does,
Pudding.
but
Ron Pudding.
Ron Pudding. Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be back. We're gonna talk about more topics. We're gonna keep talking about 2024 because I want to talk about the Democratic side. Talk a little bit about RFK Jr. Does he have a shot? Can he save the Democratic Party? And we're gonna talk a lot about the fallout of the shooting in Kansas City, the tragic shooting. All these accidents.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of shootings that are accidental. Kids going into the wrong driveway.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really
It's so
weird.
insane. But we're gonna talk about that and some other topics after this quick break. All right. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Recording.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Katie here. Before we get into the second part of our segment, I just want to let you guys know that I'm also running a gaming channel. Um, I'm gonna put the link down the description down below. So if you guys aren't into the whole mood of politics, you can always enjoy the whole part of the gaming world. I usually tend to do a little bit more comedy into the no walkthroughs of gameplays. Um, Maybe in the future I'll do that. But if you guys are down, if you guys are a huge fan of gaming, just go down the description below, hit the link button, and you guys can check out my gaming channel. Thank you guys.
Welcome back, guys. This is our second part of our episode for the Republic. Once again, you can check us out everywhere you get your podcast. Tell your friends to subscribe to our Patreon. Tell your friends. Tell your mailman. Tell your milkman. Tell your weed guy.
Milkman.
Tell your boss. Tell your ex-boss. Tell your ex-wife. Tell your ex-boyfriend. Everybody. All right, we're gonna keep talking about 2024. I want to show these clips about Trump and Ron DeSantis real quick. So Katie, share your thoughts on what do you think is gonna happen? What do you make of all this? Because you're more independent than I am, so you always have some thoughts that I don't have, since you're the more independent one here.
Me?
Well, yeah, you're more
What thoughts about what?
about the Ron Trump feud. What do you make of it? What do you think about it? What's your opinion on it?
I mean, I've said it before. Like, I feel like Trump is just wasting his time if Ron is not even running. If Ron was running, if he did confirm that he is running, then go ahead, do your stuff. But I feel like Trump should be just worrying about the major stuff like crime, our economy,
I think he's doing
inflation.
both at all the same time.
Yeah,
If you check I think he's doing everything, which is always crazy because he does everything at the same time.
but it's
But
it's like Ron hasn't even pointed out
but
that
you know
he's
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 going
running yet.
to. But you know he's going to. That's the thing.
I
Like
know,
you
I
say
know
that, but you
that,
know he's going to.
I know
All
that,
right, I
but
want to show this clip here about his interview with the Nelk Boys because in the first part of the episode we showed him at the pizza parlor, and he has events like this all the time where he just shows up at random businesses and
Mhm.
people just like go crazy. And this is Fort Myers. Like Fort Myers isn't like the most red place. It's a red place, but it's not like it's a city, and cities always have blue and red, Democrats and Republicans, or people in the middle. And I think people always get excited when a president shows up. Like if Obama showed up to you know, to a pizzeria where I am, I'd get up and I'd take pictures too. I don't like him. I don't like his presidency at all. I
You
think he's
would?
one of the worst presidents ever. But I would like to take pictures and I'd be like, oh shit, that's Obama. You know what I mean?
Now,
Like
what if you see Joe Biden? Would you take a picture with him?
I would, but he wouldn't know where he is at. So I don't know. And what if he tries
What
to
is
sniff
this
me?
technology?
What if he tries to sniff me? He might call me Jack.
What's up,
Take the
Jack?
picture, Jack.
Take the picture, Jack. What you waiting
All
for,
right, so I want
Jack?
to show this photo of the Nelk boys because I just like the swagger that comes along with it.
Oh, they're not gonna cut you again.
Oh, we don't know.
They're not gonna cut you again. They don't have the courage to do that.
Great. Yeah. All right. See you.
2 Saturdays in a row.
Great. See you.
That's right.
All right. Good to see
It's a
you.
great honor.
You look great.
Come on, let's go do it.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Glad to have you back.
Nice to be here. Where do you want me?
Right here.
Okay. I'm coming to the speech. I'm making a speech in a little while.
Are you?
As soon as I'm finished with you.
Oh my God. We have to go.
Then the easy work starts.
Oh, we were saying last time we had.
Yeah, I like that swagger.
Yeah, I remember seeing this clip. Do you know how Trump was introduced to full send?
No, I don't know. I don't really follow that.
It was from Dana
Oh, my.
White. Dana White recommended Trump to be
Oh,
present
okay.
Full Send
Okay.
podcast,
Yeah, I can
and
see that.
yeah, because full send's really big, especially
Yeah,
now.
no, it is.
Like
Yeah.
the guests that they bring, the
Oh,
guests
yeah.
that they bring is like all different kind of guests. It's not like
Yeah.
not like a right leaning thing.
No,
But
no,
I
no.
remember I remember watching one of the podcasts. I forgot which video though. Kyle mentioned that they tried getting like left leaning politicians in, but they don't want to.
I've seen that in this
They
interview.
don't
Yeah,
want
so I've
to.
seen this interview. He said that. Yeah, they don't want to come on.
So that's why it's more like an eye opener for the Nelk boys. I remember I think Kyle was like he wasn't like fully left leaning. He's more in the middle, especially like with the viewers that they have now. They try to
Right.
stick with being like the independents and in the middle, not more right leaning and more left leaning. That's what I like about them. But now in today's they're really fully supporting Trump right now.
No, they're huge though, and what I like about them is that they get all type of they get like you said they get a lot of people, not just
Yeah.
political fans watching them. It's everybody. So when they say things like this,
Dana told us you were
that's-
coming. We got really excited, and I asked you. I was like, Mr. Trump, do you want to come on the Full Send podcast again? I feel like it's such good timing right now. Like, I don't know, personally, me, I'm watching everything going on here and also abroad around the world, and I just feel like it's such a good time to have you on to speak because, like,
Great.
I don't care what anyone says. Like, I don't care about the backlash. Like, I feel like we need you back right now. Like, we need you back in office. And like, I feel like if people have anything against you, they got to put it aside because, like, I feel like you're the only one right now that can really fix the problems here and abroad.
Well, it's really nice that you say that. I appreciate it. I know you come from both sides of it, right? You know, you have
A little bit.
the little bit left side and you have the little bit right side, and sometimes the strong right side because we have to take care of our country. But
yeah, I like what he said, man. It's just like like you were mentioning, they see the reaction they get from the left. They go insane when they talk to anybody that's not part of their machine or their establishment.
Yeah.
And then if you do, they don't want to talk to you because they don't really respect you. It's like, but you say you're for the people, like you say you're for the people, you say you're for helping the people, you say for the poor. Like people from all walks of life are watching the Nelk Boys. Like whether that's good or bad, who cares? But like they're watching these guys online. They're all on. Everyone's online now. And they're watching these guys online who have these podcasts, and
Yeah.
they get a big audience. And so
They have a
like,
massive
he's
audience,
smart.
and
Yeah.
this is a smart move, especially from Donald Trump. You're trying to get
but
the
it's like-
attention from the young voters.
My point is,
You know.
it's not even the young voter. It's like my point is, it's like I don't know how to say it at this point, but it's also what he's saying is like he's seeing the reality. Like he sees their Joe Biden. The media makes them seem popular. The media makes
Yeah.
Obama's like the media makes you love them. Like they're the right. They're in the right. They can never be wrong. They're popular.
They've been
cool.
They've been
But
attacked
my point
too.
is this. My point is this. It's like they see the policies and they see the reality. Like what is America like now, here and abroad? And they're saying, yeah, when Trump was in, things were good. Things are shit with Biden, and they don't respect us. They don't care about us. And like that's why we need you back. And also the other part is like we need you because you've done it before. Not because what the things you say, but because the things you say become true. Like you bring things to a reality. And so those are huge important parts. And then, I want to show these memes I mentioned about the second part about, those ladies looking at DeSantis.
Yeah, they all look
Look
so
at that.
fucking bored.
Now this video is just hilarious to me. It's just like it's all this. What is this?
Wait, what the fuck is
What?
this? What the fuck was that?
Yes, that's the audio. It's just like, why is he wearing a mask?
What's he standing like? He's like, give me a
Why are
kiss.
they standing
Give me,
like that? Look at his
give me a kiss,
feet.
Daddy Trump. Give me a kiss. He wants a kiss on the cheek. Look at him.
He's just like, I'm so funny.
Wait, when was this? Pause. When was that? Because
I think
he
probably
looks-
2020.
he looks fatter.
Yeah, he was fatter. Yeah, he got skinny now. Yeah. That's another thing. That's why people keep saying that. Yeah, he's definitely running. Like he wants to improve his image. He wants to like be. Hey, look, being skinnier is being healthier. To be honest, like who cares honestly?
Yeah.
But like doing it now after you've been like chubby your whole like political career, it's kind of like iffy.
Alright.
Yeah, this was from the Piers Morgan interview when he was laughing like really crazy. I forget what he said, why he was laughing like that. I don't know why, but look. But that's hilarious to me.
Dude's dressed up
That was
like a
funny.
schoolboy. What the fuck?
Let me see some other ones now that we're at this. Oh, this one right here. I love this video right here. This is not funny.
Get out the way.
Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way. Move, bitch. Get out the way.
That was funny. Yeah. Is there any ones? Is there any ones here? Let's see, what
What is the, wait, whoa, go down.
Should we do it?
What? Which one?
Keep going down. I saw something like 0. Oh yeah, 0 hate. Trump couldn't care less if you gay. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, well remember because they try to make him think that he's anti-gay, but like no, he's the
Right.
first political candidate to be pro-gay. Like you know what I mean? Like pro. I like this.
Should we go do the correct thing? Ha 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 ha! Never! Let's make poor decisions!
Yeah, pretty much. It's like every time they do something, it's like, oh, let's do something good. It's like, no, we're gonna do everything bad. I was like,
What do you think? You're the coolest guy in the parking lot, and then this guy shows up.
Yeah. Wait, that was really Kamala's.
What do you think? You're the
she was
coolest
on Air Force. Yeah, she was on Air Force too. It's like the vice president's plane.
guy in the parking lot, and then
Damn.
this guy shows up.
What
do you think?
To see that, like she's flying in, and she's just like, and then
But it's bigger than yours.
it's bigger than yours. I love that one where it's the I'd have to look for it later, but when she's just like that meme where it's like what is it like don't come.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna come.
Oh. He
Yeah,
makes
it's
the noise.
like it's so funny, man. It's like
But
it's a sign of the energy, man. There's just so much energy on this side. And
oh yeah, especially when you look at going back to the full set real quick. Even when you look at the podcast, like they were all really happy to see him. Like they really.
Yeah.
I don't know all of their backstories. I know the Nelk Boys. I've seen their stuff like a few years ago, but I never really like dived into it because they used to do like pranks.
Yeah, I
and
remember
the whole
like, throwing
pranking
chicken tenders.
and the whole pranking stuff just like kind of got like old in the YouTube realm because like back in the old days, FouseyTube would do that shit and like
Yeah.
But I remember Steve got banned on YouTube. I don't know if you know how. The reason why he got banned, I think this is from the podcast, the very first podcast when they brought Trump in.
Oh yeah, because I got canceled, right?
Yeah, and Steve bought him a I think it was like a $500,000 Rolex
Oh wow.
because he sold a shirt that had a picture of him and Trump, and it sold millions, I believe, like millions of dollars.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that now. Yeah,
And he used that money to buy a 500,000 Rolex. I think it's 500,000, and then
Give
gave
him
it
a
to
Rolex,
Trump. Yeah.
I saw that part. Yep.
But the
yep.
reason why they banned him was supposedly is because he supports Trump,
Yeah. No, I remember that episode got canceled too.
and that's fucked up.
Yeah. No, they're insane, man. And people see that and they're like, why are they doing that? Like, more people are saying like, why would they do that? Like,
When you look at these guys, I bet you most of them weren't born rich like that. Like one of the workers, Gabe. I think
probably
he's
some.
I think
some also.
yeah, probably some. Like when you see, there's another guy named Gabe. I think he's from Brazil.
No, probably.
And look at him now. Like he's making money right now.
That's not even the point if they're born rich, dude. Like probably.
No, meaning like they've seen both sides of the world.
Oh
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, it's like you can see it now. You don't have to live through it, but you can see like what's going on now. It's like people struggling. Like you can see that. I go to the supermarket.
The sad part is that not a lot of people see that. They don't.
No, they don't want to.
They don't see the actual
reality.
reality.
No, they don't. Yeah. So it's another sign. Like there's the energy, and like when people like the Nelk Boys, like I remember them when they were throwing chicken tenders at on Rodeo Drive and stuff. Like that's what I remember.
I've never seen that one. What the fuck?
And they would do stuff like that, and like throw chicken nuggets at like those restaurants in LA. Like that's what I remember. But it's like that's fine. Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Now they're big. Now they're doing something actually meaningful with their thing, and props to them because this is a big outlet for them. And
Did YouTube cancel the second one?
No, not yet.
Wait,
Not
let me
yet.
see how many views they're at.
I don't think they will too, because now he's a declared candidate, so they could get sued.
True.
Yeah, it probably has millions of views. Yeah, but like this is the thing, then the other guy we wanted to talk about is RFK Jr. He announced he was running this week, and he was in Boston, and he's polling 14%. So he's taking 14% of the Biden voter wants him to be the nominee.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are getting sick and tired of Biden now.
Yeah, now that's a small number, but it's a big number because I don't think they would have ever expected it because they view RFK as a fringe candidate, like Marianne Williamson, who has like 5, and that's her top.
Mm-hmm.
She's not getting any more. And I disagree with a lot of what he was saying. He started out blaming Trump because if you're a Democrat, you just have to do it. But he blamed Trump for the lockdown, not for COVID death. He blamed him for the lockdown and for listening to Fauci. So he took it like he went a different route. But he's really more, he's not far left. I think he'd be more of a left-leaning libertarian if that exists. Um, he wants to end pretty much America's role as, being the global superpower, controlling global hegemony,
Hmm.
uh, hegemony. Um, he wants to get rid of a lot of the bases we have overseas. So I disagree with him on those things.
Wait, so he's trying to say that we shouldn't handle the world's problems?
He's trying to say that we shouldn't be a global power, so we shouldn't have global influence. Because
Okay.
being a policeman is being different than controlling and having global hegemony. That's different. Like that's completely different than like the Trump thing is, yeah, we're the global superpower and we're not gonna take care of the world's problems, but we're gonna be in charge. We're not gonna allow countries to invade others. We're not going to allow insane people. We're not gonna allow small countries who think they can beat us to terrorize us.
Right.
He's saying that we should retreat full stop. We should get out. We have bases in Turkey, in Pakistan. We should cancel them, give them back. We should leave. Like full retreat. Let's go. Let's come back and use the defense. He wants to cut the defense budget a huge amount to invest in infrastructure, and it's that so-called peace dividend that they were talked about in the 60s and 70s. That when the Cold War ended, we would reduce military expenditures and give people a peace dividend. What does that mean? Is that invest in healthcare, education? That's the typical Democrat. What he's doing is kind of smart. He's going back to the Bill Clinton model. That's kind of what he's modeling after.
Okay.
A return to that moderate liberal, classical liberal. Um, you know, I want to read his book just because he talks about that. But he's come out saying that he's not just he's not anti-vax. Despite I knew him as being anti-vax, but now he says he's not. He says that he was just anti-Fauci and the corporate kleptocracy of biotech and big pharma, which is fine. That's fine. But it kind of threw me off that he's not anti-vax anymore. It's like, all right. I mean, we all know you.
So he's kind of like flip flopping his words.
I think he is just trying to. I think he wants to get out of that niche because then people know him as a niche person, like like into the vaccine and stuff. I think he's trying to establish like a more broad constituency. And look, if he gets into a debate with Biden, I'm sure he's going to win. But will the Democrats allow him to? I don't think so. I don't think there won't be any debates. Biden's going to announce he's running in a video. He's choosing a video to tell us that he's running for president because he can't do it live. And I saw the rally. He was in a gymnasium.
I'm running for president.
And if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna happen again, and that's gonna be the problem. It's like they're gonna have to roll Biden out on a national campaign, and there's no basement he can stay in. Like, you're gonna have to campaign, buddy, because once the general starts, you got to campaign.
For some reason, I have a feeling I don't think Biden's running. I don't know why. It's wait.
Video on Tuesday.
Oh, you did it? Oh, okay, never mind.
They're gonna release it this Tuesday.
I thought he was still gonna announce it.
No, he is on Tuesday.
So he didn't confirm it.
But no, they just announced that he's gonna share the videos talking about he's rerunning on Tuesday.
Okay.
He's probably gonna have like a little 4-minute speech or something. That they're gonna find him on a good. They probably found him on a good day or something, where he was like fully like mentally cognizant and then recorded it. Because
no, I mean like even if he did confirm it, something might happen to him. Like what if this guy falls going up the stairs and he dies? I don't want it to happen. Don't fucking get me wrong. But I mean like what something might happen to him and then
he lived a good life, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
He lived a good life,
He was
he grew up as a Puerto Rican. He was Indian. He was Muslim.
He was Irish. He was
Irish. He's black, and he has an Indian accent because he has to go. You need one if you're going to Dunkin' Donuts in Delaware.
Yeah.
7-Eleven. So, and all the Bangladeshi taxi drivers that are out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, he's not. He's rerunning. I don't think anything's gonna happen to him. I don't think there's. I don't think they have a choice. Is anyone going to run for office? Gavin Newsom is primed. I think they have their set. I think they've selected. Again, Democrats select. They don't elect. They select.
Mm-hmm.
So they already have their guy. I think 2028 is going to be Gavin Newsom. I think Kamala has failed. I think they're not going to use her. I think they used her for the vote, for the black vote, for the women vote.
Yeah.
She's one of the worst vice presidents ever. The fact that they used to criticize Dan Quayle for being young and inexperienced. Look at Kamala. She's a senator and she was an AG. She's the worst vice president ever. So that's that's a fact. Let's not even delve into it. She was the border czar for a year or two. She never went down there. She went down there and said nothing bad was happening. Okay. There's 6 million undocumented immigrants in this country, and there's no fix in sight until 2024. And not even 2024, it's 2025 because whoever wins starts in January 2025. So you have to wait the entire year. So we have a year and a half, really, over a year and a half for anything to get fixed, which is the worst part.
Right.
Yeah, that's the crazy reality.
Going back to RFK real quick. Since you mentioned that he's like kind of like he's not anti-vaccine, but he's anti-Fauci. That's what you said, right?
That's pretty much that's my takeaway.
Do you think he's doing that just to get more votes?
Yeah, that's what I said. He's getting more.
Oh,
He wants to get more votes.
okay.
Yeah, he wants to broaden his constituency. I mean, do I think he has no shot? He has no shot. Anybody who says he has a shot is kidding themselves. He has no shot. He's not going to save anything. He's done. He's also a controversial candidate. I mean, he has a lot of skeletons in his closet. I mean, go back. Like he brokered these deals in South America with Hugo Chavez back in the early 2000s so that they could sell oil, so that these left-leaning people could buy oil from Hugo Chavez.
Mhm.
Hugo Chavez, the dictator who was killing people and starving them in Venezuela. We all know how that ended out. And he was like a fan. Like he would go there and he would praise him and he would buy oil from him. Like that's what he used to do. And now he's going to come out and say, oh no, there's nothing else is happening. Everything's fine.
Right.
He has skeletons in his closet. His first wife killed herself after they divorced. It was like a bad relationship, and look, the Democrats are nasty, and if he becomes a threat, and they view him as a threat, they're gonna unleash everything on him, and they're gonna ruin him. And his family has already said that they're not supporting him at all. Like the Kennedy family, whatever's left of them, they're all corporate Democrats now, so they're not supporting him. And so he's kind of on this little island where he has literally no one to support him.
Yeah, he has no shot at all.
No, he has no shot. And look, I think what he might do, even if he became the vice president, even if he became a nominee, he would choose Tulsi Gabbard as his vice president, because I feel like he feels like that would make sense. They're both aligned, but they have no shot. They have no shot. And
Yeah.
I might be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't think so. They have all the power. They have the power, the party power. They have the media behind them, and they're not going to let him get anywhere near any real numbers. They're never going to have a debate. They're not going to have a debate. But Joe Biden is the president now. This is in 2020 when he was a nominee. He's the president, and there aren't 16 other people running. So he doesn't have a shot. He doesn't have a shot. He's done for. I mean, this is really just.
Yeah. I agree.
I wish he did, but no. And I disagree with him. I disagree with a lot of what he says, but he's a better choice than Biden.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But he has no shot. So I think that we're gonna wrap that up for 2024. We're gonna move on, and we could talk a little bit about the race conversation in this country post Ralph Yarl and a bunch of things. We mentioned this on the Patreon. We talked about it on the Patreon, which you could totally check out and subscribe and follow to tell your friends, etc. It's really toxic. It's really toxic. There's some things I wanted to say back then. The fact that you have a president who invited one person with a family and the guy, Ralph Yarl, to the White House because he was shot by an 84-year-old white man.
Mm-hmm.
And they're inviting him just because he's black. That's a terrible thing. That's a terrible precedent to set. So when Donald Trump becomes president, if there is a group of people if there's a woman or a man who's killed by an undocumented immigrant, or killed by a black, or if an Asian family has their son or daughter killed or raped because of a black guy in New York City. When Donald Trump invites that Asian family or that white family to the White House, don't get offended. Don't get angry.
Don't.
Because you did this. When Barack Obama went out and said, Trayvon Martin was the black son I never had, what do you think he meant by that? He wanted to. I mean, Bill Clinton never came out and said that. Oh, Monica Lewinsky was the daughter I never had, or was or OJ's the woman OJ was married to.
Mhm.
Oh, that's like the daughter I never. That's like the second daughter I never had.
Right.
What? What are we? He never did that. Never did that. Because it's a terrible thing to say. It's a terrible thing to say. And then remember, Barack Obama was the first president to divide an elected constituency by their ethnicity. He essentially told them that he reconfigured and killed the Democratic Party by saying that your ethnicity, your nationality, your race is essential to you, not your characteristics. Yes, you may be Indian American, you may be Mexican American, you may be Black American, but regardless of all of that, regardless of any of that, you are a Democratic voter. You should vote with your tribe. Mexican Americans vote Democrat. That's what you should do. Don't think about it. Don't have any choices. And remember, this isn't a new phenomenon. I saw that I think it was on MSNBC that the grandson of the man who shot the kid.
Oh yeah, that's
was on MSNBC saying that. Oh yeah, no, he did that because he's an old racist white guy who loves Trump and he watches Fox.
That's so dumb. Have you seen his Twitter profile?
Oh yeah, he's a BLM Antifa fanatic who's into pronouns and he fights for binary people's rights, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And no, he's a total lefty, and he's just out in the media buying it up. Oh no, he did this because he's racist. Look, that man should go to jail. Will probably be jailed for that. It's a stupid thing that he did. He was just knocking on a door. But when more than 60% of the black community is committing crimes, and they're only 13% of the population, what do you expect? Especially in Kansas City, a city that's not safe. It's pretty dangerous. What do you expect? But aside from that, like there's other cases, like is he inviting the family of the young girl who was shot in her car because they drove in the wrong driveway? That was a white guy who shot her. What about her? What about the other one who, because she delivered, I think, a package to the wrong door, she was shot? There was like a bunch of them of people getting shot in driveways or just by doing the wrong thing. Like, what about those families? Do they get invited to the White House? No, they're not, because they're white. They're the wrong ethnicity. They're not the right people in the views of the Democrats. And so Kamala Harris isn't going to Kansas City. She's not going to upstate New York and saying, oh, these people are being nasty. They're racist and they're old and they're white and they're bad people. And they're not going to Chicago and telling those kids, don't do those things. That's bad. Don't go out and riot and protest and burn down Walmarts and Targets and steal. Don't do that. They're not inviting the family of the girl who was assaulted in a crowd of people in Chicago last weekend. They're not doing that.
No,
they're not doing it at all.
Yeah, that one's pretty sick.
No, they're not doing that at all because they view the black community as a protected community. And this isn't new. Remember I don't know if you remember this, but that man is going to jail, and this happened a lot with the Zimmerman case. Remember George Zimmerman who shot Trayvon Martin?
Yeah.
And all that drama started, and they doctored the 911 call to make George look like a racist.
Really?
They doctored the 911 call they put out and they meshed it together and they put it out so that George Zimmerman looked like a racist, to make it seem that he shot him because he was black and a kid. He was a black boy. That's what they did. They did that. They did it, and nobody talks about that. And remember, George Zimmerman, they only went after him because he had a German-sounding last name, a European last name, Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, his name is George Zimmerman Mesa. His mom is, I think, Honduran or Mexican American. Or no, his mom is Peruvian. So this is if I could go back in time and I could do something, I would tell George. It's like, no, don't say that your name is George Zimmerman. Tell them I'm Jorge Mesa and I'm a
Jorge Mesa.
Peruvian American. No, seriously, I'm Jorge Mesa, and say it with a Spanish accent. Say it with a Spanish accent, and then be like, and then tell them, excuse me, I'm a Hispanic American. My name is not George. My name is Jorge. I don't have my last name is Mesa. I'm a Peruvian American. My mom is a Peruvian immigrant, and don't you dare accuse me of racism because I'm a Hispanic. I'm a minority in this country. Don't you dare accuse me of racism because you're being racist against me now because I'm Hispanic. He should have done that. He should have played that card because that's the only thing you can do to save yourself. That old man who shot the kid, he's not getting saved. He's going to jail for life. And regardless of the years, he's going to jail. He's going to die in prison. He's dying in prison. He's 84 years old.
Yeah.
He's going to get assaulted. He's probably going to get beat up. He's probably going to be spit on. He's probably going to be demonized. That's what's going to happen in this country.
It's like, where's the evidence? Like, what did he say that was racist? Or just because he shot a black man, you guys pointed out that it's
a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
He's white, 84 years old. Remember, what makes him guilty is that he's white, and that he's old, and that he shot a black kid. Because if he shot a white kid, we wouldn't be talking about this. We wouldn't be talking about this. Kamala Harris wouldn't be going down to Kansas City, despite not doing anything else in her job. She wouldn't be paying for the if BLM was white, she would have never paid for their bail to get them out of jail. She would have never cared. If the border was filled with people that were white crossing, she would have shut it down immediately. As soon as she was named border czar, she would have shut it down immediately. But she's not. She's not going to do that.
Well, I wonder
It's
when
not the right race.
I wonder when they're gonna bring this 6-year-old girl to the White House since she's been shot by a black man.
Oh,
That's
they're not going to.
Yeah, because apparently a 6-year-old white girl, and I believe the father was shot by a black man just because the basketball was rolled to his yard.
Exactly.
That's pretty much it. And he ran off, but I think he turned himself in apparently.
Yep. No, but they're not gonna.
But the media's
not
not all over it. So there you go.
I don't know why. Because he's black. Because he's black, and they're a protected class. Minorities are a protected class in Joe Biden's America. They can do nothing wrong, except if you're Cuban American or if you're Salvadorian American. They don't like you. Why? Because you're going to vote right wing now. Because you're voting right, and Hispanics are going to go, and they're going to see it. See what's going to happen with Hispanics. You think Joe Biden in the next term, if he sees that you voted a majority percent for Donald Trump, you think he's going to give you papers? He's shutting that voter down immediately. That's what he's going to do. He doesn't care about your papers. He doesn't care about your human rights. No. He cares about you voting for him, buddy. That's what he cares about.
And then using you motherfuckers.
Trust me, when you do that, he's going to shut you down. So that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen. No, it's insane, and it's a toxic point. You have to remind people to essentially say, look, if I'm what you said in the beginning, look, I'm not Indian American. I'm not Indian. I'm American. I was born here.
Yeah.
I'm not Indian. Because guess what? When you go to India, what are they going to call you?
American.
What do they call? No, what are they going to call you? They have a word for it, don't they? Don't they have a word for Indian kids that are born in America? Like gringo?
Usually, no. They would just say that we're from America. But if they were to say like, we're from like a country where it's like full of white people, they would call them Gora.
Gora. Yeah. All right, there you go. That's what they're gonna tell you.
But if they know that you're from America, they're just gonna say that he's from America. That's pretty much it.
No, but there's definitely a slur that they have. Every country has it.
There might be.
The Chinese have it. The Spanish people have it. They all have it. Why? Because America's a target. They don't like America, but they like coming here. But no, they don't like America. That's the point. But you have to remind them. No, my race and ethnicity, my parents' nationality, that's not essential. That's just incidental. It happened. I was born. I had no control over it. So did you.
It's said that people try to like say that, oh, you're not American, you're Indian American. When I've never been to India, I wasn't even born there. I'm from America.
No, I was born.
It's like you guys say like white people. Why don't you call them European Americans?
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, you call them Black American, not African, because guess what? A lot of people haven't been to Africa.
Like we always shit on white. Like we always shit on white people, and don't I know what you guys are gonna think, like, oh, we're siding with white people. No, we're just siding with common sense. That's pretty much it.
It's common sense.
How you gonna keep saying that they're white people but not European Americans? Well, we do that to black people. We call them African Americans when a lot of them are from Africa.
We tribalize
some.
Exactly. We tribalize people, and then they do that for political reasons.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take another break, and we're gonna move on to our last section of the episode. All right, and so we'll see you guys on the other side of this break. All right, thanks.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Katie here. Before we get into the second part of our segment, I just want to let you guys know that I'm also running a gaming channel. I'm gonna put the link down the description down below. So if you guys aren't into the whole mood of politics, you can always enjoy the whole part of the gaming world. I usually tend to do a little bit more comedy into it. No walkthroughs of gameplays. Maybe in the future I'll do that. But if you guys are down, if you guys are a huge fan of gaming, just go down the description below, hit the link button, and you guys can check out my gaming channel. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, welcome back. This is our final part of the episode today. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I want to talk a little bit about we talk a lot about the candidates and complaining about them, but I don't want to just be a show that complains. I want to be a show that where me and Katie talk about what has to happen, what should happen, what policies ought to be pursued. I want to talk about what has to happen domestically a little bit. A couple points of what has to happen as soon as the right person enters the office. Hopefully Donald Trump, or even if Ron DeSantis or anybody else has to enter, because we're at a pivotal point where we're being crushed on both sides. But domestically, what has to happen, if I got in, as soon as you get in to office, you have to reopen federal land leases to allow exploration or digging for oil. We need to make sure that we become energy independent again. The Biden administration, they're playing a little game where they're telling people that, oh, you can purchase contracts, but they're not letting you drill because they're making the process extremely difficult and bothersome, or flat out telling you no. And they're going to open up more exploration when they want to, because they want to buy oil from Venezuela, give money to Iran, Saudi Arabia at incredibly expensive prices, which drives the price up. I mean, in my area, gas is already at $3.45, $3.59. That's the range. California gas is at $5-6.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's sad.
It's insane. When gas prices were like around $2 when Trump was president, $2.30. That's an adequate price.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that do? That brings the price of household goods down, food, appliances. Why? Because we have to transport everything. Whether ships use diesel, they use coal, they use gas, they use oil. Cars use oil, trucks use oil, they use diesel. And then the second thing you have to do in terms of the oil and the energy front is that if I'm president, I'm bringing in all the top big oil companies in, whether the Democrats hate it or not, and I'm going to let them know, look, you are not going to allow the environmental groups to bully you into ending your oil refineries, into ending your diesel refineries, into bullying you into stopping offshore drilling or oil digging.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to let them know that this administration has your back. We're not going to allow a fringe group of radicals who are destroying this country. Remember, a refinery takes about 5 to 10 years to build, and they're destroying them to turn them into renewable gas places, renewable gas or renewable energy processors.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work, and it's not going to work right now in the short term when we need to. We can focus that afterwards. We can focus on those things afterwards if we need to, like nuclear energy or natural gas, which is safer, cleaner for the environment. But they don't want to admit that because they want the solar and offshore wind, which doesn't help anybody. Look at Europe. They abandoned it. Just like they abandoned the wealth tax and a lot of the other ridiculous left-wing programs they want to enact on. You bring those people in and you tell them, look, we need oil and we need it now. This country needs to become energy independent so that we don't have to depend on our enemies like Russia, China, Iran, Saudi Arabia, the OPEC, which doesn't like America, but likes to take our dollars. Yep. That's what they do like. Bring them up and say, we're going to be energy independent. You tell the Israelis, and you go to Cyprus, and you go to Greece, and you tell them, we're going to allow you to build a natural gas pipeline so that you can send natural gas to continental Europe, which needs it. Because right now they're buying oil and natural gas from Europe, Ukraine, but Russia especially, and a lot of the Russian satellite states like Belarus and the others that are pro-Russia, pro-China. That's what you do, so that they don't depend on Russia and they can actually have a dog in this fight or a discussion and not be tied to them so much. You bring in Mr. Little Macron, who went to, and this is now foreign policy side. You bring in Macron and you let him know. First off, you don't speak for Europe, and you tell them the European Union, created at the behest of the United States in the 50s and 60s with the European Economic Council, the ECC. Who do you think invented that? Us. If you want to know more about that, there's a great book by Neil Young, a journalist at that time. It's called The Blessed One, where he outlines all of the discussions in Europe of why when they created the European Union. Guess who wanted it? The United States wanted it. You exist because we want you to. So you do listen to us. We do control global hegemony, global power. So Mr. Macron's not going to go to China for no reason and tell them, oh yeah, no, we're not going to follow the Europe, the Americans when they want to do Taiwan. No, you are. You are. All right. You're going to tell that to the Germans. You're going to say that to the Belgians. You're going to go down to Brussels and you're going to say that to them. You listen to me. Because NATO, by the way, NATO, who defends you guys, is mostly American troops. Mostly American troops. I could take them home if I want to, just like Donald Trump said. Pay up or I go home. And then see what you're going to do. And no talks of a European continental army. No. We're going to respect national sovereignty in Europe. You have a union, but if Poland doesn't want to take Muslim migrants, you're not going to. If Hungary doesn't want to enact environmental programs and controls, they're not going to. We're not going to allow that. And then you take your Secretary of State, whoever you appointed, and you send them down to South America. And you remind them. You remind Brazil. We've allowed you to take our jobs because the U.S. congressional policy has allowed them to. You're not going to switch to the Chinese yuan. You're going to stay on the dollar, buddy. You're in the Americas where we have control. We're not going to allow Mexico to be a fan of the Chinese socialists. We're not going to allow a Brazilian socialist. And yeah, if we have to meddle in those countries, we are going to meddle because this is our space. This is our space. If China wants to control their space, we're definitely control our space. You go to South America, you go to South El Salvador, and you tell Mr. Bukele, yes, I love what you're doing. Let's project that across Central America to stop the flow of mass illegal immigration to us. Because your people are coming to our country, and they're not doing good things here. Not for the most part, but unfortunately, the bad apples rot the most. The bad fish, they stink the most, and they're affecting us. And I love that you're rounding up MS-13, but you're going to help us now. And you're going to go tell the Mexican president to act up or get out. That he has to fix his act. And we're going to start stay in Mexico policy. No more. Okay? We're going to shut down that border. We're going to shut it down, not so that illegal people can come in. No, we're going to shut it down. So businesses can resume. We're going to stop the cartels. We're going to stop the cartels. That's what we're going to do. We're going to stop the mass illegal immigration. And when that's done, we can focus on the illegal people here. We can give them a path to residency, not citizenship, to a green card. But they're going to have to pay fines. They might have to do community service. They may have to stop taking benefits like food stamps and free health insurance like all the rest of the people do. Because if you want to be a part of our country, you're going to have to learn how to speak English, and you're going to have to stop taking benefits. Because there are people in this country that need them. And if countries don't want to act up and they want to get in line, countries like Brazil, Peru, Argentina, Chile, oh, you still want the billions of dollars that you get from us? No, actually, no. Go get them from China or get them from Iran or Saudi Arabia. You want to be their friend? Go ahead. But you're not going to take our dollars. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely none. No. That's what you have to do. You have to reestablish deterrence. You have to tell the president of Mexico that if he doesn't want to shape up and he wants to influence our elections by telling his people to vote for Democrats, there's $30 to $50 billion in remittances that are sent every year to Mexico. untaxed. Oh, I'll tax them. I'm going to tax the hell out of them. Do that. Threaten him and see how quickly he falls in line, because he knows he wants all that money, tax free. That's what you do. That's what you do domestically at the border and energy policy. And then those are just two big things that you can do, and that will just reverse a lot of the negativity that goes back and rescind every executive order that Joe Biden has done on energy, on climate change, on border, everything. And yeah, you're gonna have to start deporting people. And if the immigrants that went to that New York City hotel don't like their food, out of here, out, out. You don't want to go to Canada? Okay, you're not going to Canada, but you're not staying in this country. So go somewhere else. You're going back. Going back, buddy. Bye bye. Sayonara. Adios. That's what's going to happen. That's what you have to do. There's no more time for games of going to think tanks and going to the Ronald Reagan Foundation in California and dropping a book and going to these other places like the Economic Council or the Council of Foreign Affairs. We don't have time for that. We do not have time for that. It's time to act. And those are just two things you can do on the immigration side of the southern border to fix it up and seal it up, and energy policy and some foreign policy. And we're going to try to we're going to try to have these little suggestions on policy wise that has to happen, so that we just don't complain, because we don't want to complain all the time. It's fun to complain, but we have solutions, because we've seen a president who did that once, Donald Trump, who did things like that, and look at how the country turned out. Things went very, very well until the pandemic ruined everything. So I'll start doing these things in the future episodes, so you guys can see the policy suggestions about that can get us back on track. Maybe next week I'll talk about China a little bit more, what we can do with the military, to make sure we're ready, and that so we don't have to get rid of all the 800 bases we have around the world that protect people in Europe, that protect the people in the Middle East and in places that are aligned with us in Africa and South America. So we don't have to retreat from the world and let the Chinese and the Russians take over. Because guess what? You're not going to like it. You're definitely not going to like it. They're not going to give you billions of dollars in aid to Kenya or Chile or Nicaragua. They're not going to. They're definitely not going to. So we're going to end things here. We're going to wrap things up. Karen Deep, if you have any final thoughts on anything I said, anything I suggested, go ahead.
Well, everything was perfect, man. Just want everyone to be happy, help everyone one another. We're all living in dark times, so yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. All right. Well, once again, you can find us everywhere you're at. You can watch our video episodes on YouTube. You can listen to us on Patreon, or listen to us anywhere you can get your podcasts. We're on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio. Once again, tell your friends, tell your not friends, tell your enemies, tell Joe Biden, tell Kamala Harris, tell Xi Jinping, tell everybody to listen to us. I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and we'll be seeing you guys back next week.
Have a good one, guys.